There's a thin, fragile line between courage and a coffin. In Kenya's dusty villages and restless cities, that line is often drawn by power and crossed by the brave. This is the story of a teacher, a son, a friend, a voice that echoed too loud in a land where silence is demanded. Albert Omondi Ojwang dared to question, dared to speak, and paid with his life. What happens when truth costs more than fear? What happens when justice becomes the hunted, not the hunter? Today, we follow Albert's journey from the quiet classrooms of Voi to a cell in Nairobi, from a keyboard of defiance to a nation's streets on fire. Welcome to Echoes and Edges with me, Director Vam. Albert Omondi Ojwang was born in the year 1993 in Kakot village, Homa Bay County, a son of the soil raised on the shores of Lake Victoria. He grew to become a man of words, a teacher of Kiswahili and religious studies in Voi, Taita Taveta County. But beyond the classroom, Albert had another calling: to speak for those too afraid to speak. On X, what was once called Twitter, his voice rose against corruption. He called out those in power. He named names, he challenged the shadows, and with every post, he gathered followers and enemies. He called the Deputy Inspector General of Police a mafia cop, a dangerous truth in a dangerous land. On the night of June 7th, 2025, they came, police officers at his door. In the quiet of Kakot, they took Albert from his home. No court warrant, no explanation his family could understand. First to Mawego police station, then "100 kilometers away to Nairobi Central Police Station. Their charge? Cybercrime. Defaming a senior police officer. The price of a tweet." By morning, Albert was dead. Police said he harmed himself, smashed his head against the cell wall, but the body told another story. The autopsy revealed severe head trauma, neck compression, soft tissue injuries that spoke not of suicide but of torture. A nation erupted. Protests filled the street from Nairobi to Kisumu, from Mombasa to Homa Bay. Tear gas filled the air. Gunfire cracked the silence, and blood stained the soil. At least 20 dead in the protest that followed. Hundreds wounded, a price paid not just by Albert, but by those who loved him, by strangers who saw in him the face of injustice. Then came July 3rd. Mourners carried his coffin through the village. Grief turned to fury. They marched to Mawego police station and set it ablaze. A symbol of broken trust reduced to ash. On July 4th, 2025, Albert was laid to rest. His mother, Yukabeth Adhiambo Ojwang, stood at the graveside. Her voice trembled with pain and power as she said, "Do not rest, my son, until justice is done, until those who led the police to our door are brought to answers." A mother's final plea, a nation's final question. Albert's death uncovered what many already feared: a police system that protests its own, a nation where truth can be fatal. Several officers were arrested. The Deputy Inspector General stepped aside and returned. Cases continue, but closure, that remains out of reach. And so we ask, how many more voices must fall silent? How many more mothers must stand at fresh graves? Albert Ojwang is gone, but his echo remains. In every chant on the street, in every tear of a mother, in every question whispered in fear, and maybe, just maybe, in the edges of a new Kenya, where the truth no longer costs a life. This is Echoes and Edges. I am Director Vam. Until next time, listen closely. The echoes never lie. Bye.